recently. Great effort though, and proud of the boys. Elliot Wrench, he said the Wolves were not on their game today. Cass came to HJ and got rudely robbed in the last minute. I nearly went into orbit with that try. Cass's defence held strong for the most part, but for two well-worked tries by Wyatt. The last one worked its way up and down the line before Hughes sent us to Wembley in second spot. Wyatt Joe said, what a way to win, similar to the way they played us at Magic, keeping the ball alive and being patient until the space appeared. Hopefully we'll take the good feeling into next weekend, although I still think we'll have to find another couple of gears to compete with Hull. Lee Whitnell got in touch and said a thrilling finish got me singing at the end until I remembered that for the rest of the game we were fucking toilet. Good stuff. Cass deserved to win the game with the Gale drop goal and were robbed. Worryingly, Gidley looked lost and Sandow played like he was pissed, and we need those boys at their absolute best next week. Hopefully they're saving themselves. Nice one, Lee. Fatboy Rob got in touch and he said great effort from both teams with Wire just edging it. The defeat was hard to take as there was a massive forward pass in the build-up to the winning try, but Warrington deserved the win for keeping a team like Cass to just one try in the 80 minutes. Despite the fact our season is now over for us, I still think the Super 8 is a great format. Okay. In previews last week, I called this the Who Cares Derby. I'd actually like to rename it the Clearly Didn't Get the Memo Derby, just in anticipation of everything I read about this in terms of Widnes' performance. But it was 40 points to 8 in favour of the Widnes Vikings, Mark.
Yeah, and I've just realised I need to change my spreadsheet because the half-time score...
I was going to say, I presume it wasn't 40 points to 8 at half-time. 4,000 people in Widnes to watch this one, refereed by Cup Final referee Gareth Hewer.
Yeah, shall we leave that for the preview?
Yeah, but okay. I'm just mentioning it.
No, I'm saying shall we, or shall we talk about it now?
No, let's do it in the preview.
All right, okay, cool.
Definitely. But yeah, no, Widnes clearly didn't get the memo about every minute not mattering anymore. And it mattered to them. You thought Wakefield for this one? I just smelt a rat.
Yeah, well, obviously what happened in the last week was Dennis Betts sat his team down and said, look lads, we're becoming a bit of a joke of ourselves here. Do we want to embarrass ourselves or do we want to do something about it? And they came up against an opponent that they were able to do something about it too because of,
the injuries
much
and
discussed circumstances that they faced.
Mm-hmm.
And what we did see was more. They were more back to the Widnes structures that we saw earlier on in the season.
Yeah,
Reece Hanbury swinging out the back and getting involved, and I think that was crucial in a way. The other thing from the highlights that I saw of the game that looked important was the development of Matt Whitley. Now it was Ludo's
big game for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Ludo's young lad who picked him out. Wasn't it, as sort of the young performer of last year, sort of kind of like the one to watch going forward in a way.
He's a bit of a rugby league savant, this kid, isn't he?
Yeah, he's done a good job with this one. Certainly is a player that I've been keeping my eye on all year, and even in the bad performances that we've seen when they've been on television, what I've noticed is I always sort of thought last year when I saw him that he had the potential to run good lines and stuff. This year he's adding to that. He's running the good lines, but then he's having the awareness to do something at the end of it.
Yeah.
And the stats will bear that out, but just the visual of seeing it bears it out. And he's doing it whichever side of the pitch they put him on. So it's showing that he's a clever second row forward rather than a to the format and it came off for him second row forward, and I think that's a good. They've got a gem there, in that kid.
Yeah, very impressive. Stats wise, tell us the story of this game, Mark.
Well, conceding twice as many penalties, 8-4, was an issue for the visitors, as the home side had a lot more ball. To gain over 300 metres more in ground, it was like early season Widnes with ball in hand. 10 breaks for them for their 7 tries, so making more opportunities than scores they were even taking, so that suggests what they were doing early in the year was just cutting teams to ribbons and not necessarily always delivering on the back end of that, but doing it enough to win. Matt Whitley with a try, 2 try assists, 136 metres, 2 clean breaks, 3 successful offloads. Reece Hanbury with a try, 2 try assists, 180 metres, 2 clean breaks. Jack Buchanan 133 metres and Corey Thompson 1 try, 5 tackle busts, 102 metres back out on the wing rather than looking lost in the centres. For Wakefield, Craig Hall, a try, 5 tackles, 2 clean breaks. Ben Jones Bishop with a try, 166 metres, 2 clean breaks, and Reece Lynn 116 metres.
Okay, Paul Ludo Lewis got in touch with this one. He said, once again, not one single minute mattered. I think the system does deserve more time, but the only reason I went today was because I paid for the match on my season ticket. Fair play to the Wakey fans who travelled and stayed till the end, especially as the game was over before half time. Certainly was, according to us. Anyway, so there you go. Tail around, Mark.
Yeah, for the first time this season, all the home sides won in a round. Obviously, it's a shorter round than we have most of the year, but still, there you go. You were also more likely to see a 40-20 kicked this week than any other round this year so far. Also, on top of that, though, bad news, more likely to see an error this week than any other week. 32.75 errors per game is the worst per game number in a round this year. Now, maybe conditions played a little bit of part. It was wet a lot of the time in a lot of the places. Wet and warm seems to really do these Rhino balls no favours, does it?
No. I'm scrambling really hard to put something together in my mind that involves moistened balls and warmth, and I'm coming up blank in a minute, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Okay.
Working really hard, though. Predictions, Super Brew and Dream Team standings. What's happening in those things, Mark?
Well, we're both 6 for 8 in the predictions this week. Not giving away where we fell down in the qualifiers yet, but for me it was the Wakefield result, and for you it was the Wigan result. Yeah. In Super Brew, Dargana, he stays top. Chris Evans won the yellow cap this week. Tyler Casvan won the spoon.
Oh, Tyler.
In Dream Team, I think he's.
Can we call Dream Team now, do you think?
I think he's put the cue on the rack there, Tyler, to be completely honest.
Right, I see.
But Chris Evans hasn't, and I can't remember, someone's gone into second, I can't remember now, someone's gone into second place above who was there before. Right. Which maybe means that Dar's under a bit more threat. I'm assuming he tipped his, second team St Helens this week, so I don't know if that impacted his performance. In Dream Team, Alan Bagley stays top, although Liam Reddington behind him again had the best weekly round. So whilst the margin's about 400 total points, if Redders keeps going at the rate he's going, in the 4 weeks left, he might just catch Bagley.
Who knows? Exciting times. Right, that's the Super 8 taken care of. Let's take a look at some results from elsewhere in the world of rugby league. Okay, so into the qualifiers then, and Salford's position in Super League looks ever more under threat at the moment. Defeated at home as they were, 29 points to 12 by Hull KR, Mark. Not a good result for Salford on the back of the defeat away at Leigh.
Not at all, and it's really surprising. You sort of thought this wouldn't happen. Obviously, they've been hit by the Justin Carney injury blow, but he hasn't really been playing much in the last few weeks anyway. No. And he only would have got himself suspended for something that mattered. But I just don't know how this happened. I've not seen much from the game or read much about it to understand how this happened, other than Hull KR managed to just blitz them in the first half.
Yeah, Hull KR got really strong, didn't they? I don't know if there's more going on behind the scenes. I would be speculating and just swinging wildly if I suggested anything. But you would have thought that given their performances on the field in the lead up to the, obviously they don't want to be in this position in the competition, but you would think that they have sufficient to get themselves, pull the socks up and get through this. And move forward. But
Cass made a really good point, actually, our friend, when at the Wigan game at half time. He basically said, and I don't know why we hadn't thought this, but I'm sure it's obvious, so I don't know why we didn't think this. Kukash's comments about leaving it up in the air whether he'll be there next year basically means all the players are sat there thinking, well, are we going to be here next year? Is there going to be a budget to pay our wages for next year?
Yeah.
If he doesn't care, why should we care?
Yeah, that's true.
And
I agree.
Yeah, it does make you think that, and
there's stuff going on there.
It's really unsettling, isn't it, when you've got an owner like that? And they've got the potential to be a good club. Even under Kukash, they've got the potential to be a well-run, sensible, good club.
But you can't go more than 5 weeks without dropping a bollock, Mark. That's the problem.
No.
And it does damage to them as their reputation and the regard with which they're held in the sport, and it does real damage to them as the core of that team and to people's motivation.
Definitely, without question, it unsettles the whole spirit around it, and they can't build anything, and there's no way of attracting those fans back if they're going to keep losing games or having uncertainty and not knowing really what sort of club they'll be supporting.
Look, there was more people turned up to watch Bradford versus Oldham than there was at this.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not done.
It was a surprising choice for having on a Friday night with Hull KR having to make the journey, but at the same time, Salford need some sort of, I don't know, like G up, and maybe some supporters could provide that. We know a lot of Salford supporters who are good supporters of the club,
and it's heartbreaking to see them go through that as much as anything else, isn't it?
Following the comments that I see from some people on social media, and you sort of think some people don't quite get it that there's a problem, and some people just seem crestfallen and don't know how to support the club anymore. And it's across the whole spectrum, and I just feel bad for them. I just feel bad for them.
Yeah, I do. No, I agree.
And it's all because of poor management of the club. Blame it on what you want on the RFL, or however you want to blame it. Yeah. Blame it on other people. It's all through poor management of the club, and they've got some infrastructure there that could work.
Yeah.
And they don't want to trust it. They don't want to solidify for whatever reason. It seems like they'd rather have a press conference and look stupid than actually go away and work on just tidying up those odds and ends that will make Salford a strong presence in this sport, in this league that they could have become.
Yeah.
I can't. No.
Yeah. It is a real shame.
By the way, though, I don't think this is it.
No, there's going to be other twists and turns.
They've got 4 games left. They've got the 2 part-time teams to play.
Yeah.
They've already beaten a Super League team. If they can beat either London or Leeds, which isn't beyond the realms of possibility for this side at all, then they've got the 4 wins. That gets them in the £1 million game as a minimum.
Yeah. But who are they playing in the £1 million game? That's the question.
Huddersfield or Hull KR at this rate.
Exactly. And that's not what you want, is it?
Well, we'll see.
Well, it's what I want. Look, the qualifiers for me is the most exciting part of rugby league at the moment, because the Super 8s is basically taken care of 4 weeks to go. This is where the entertainment comes to me. This is what I'm.
It is this year, yeah.
Most closely interested in. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We had some stats in this game, Mark.
Yeah, Till's 172 metres, so credit to the big man.
The Great Dane strikes again.
And Walker 167 metres as well, so good showing from their 2 prize prop forwards, I suppose, for Hull KR, that they built on that. For Salford, Johnson, whilst seemingly not able to keep hold of the ball, managed to make 156 metres, 2 clean breaks. Junior Sow 121 metres, and Mark Flanagan worked really hard, 50 tackles, so credit to him there.
There you go. Mark Hogan got in touch. He said, so after making the effort to go watch Salford and still go up at 2 a.m. for work this morning, I got no reward. Full 17 was piss poor by 3 or 4 players. Ref was turned on both sides. He says, didn't realise Louis was on the pitch. Gaz O'Brien was poor, head down all game. Johnson was terrible, couldn't catch a cold. Jones, Flanagan and George Griffin were awesome, and Copy was outstanding, full of passion and never gives up. Shame we haven't got 17 of him. KR was nothing special, but they still beat us. Absolutely fuming. I would be if I had to get up at 2 in the morning as well, mate. Jesus Christ. Okay, so down at the Trailfinders then, London Broncos took on the Leeds Rhinos on Saturday afternoon, Mark, and made a fist of this for 40-50 minutes.
Yeah, you'll have to excuse me not knowing much about this game because...
Got to a flying start. London matched them for the better part of the first half.
It ended half-time, was it 20 points to 12? So it was close.
Yeah, it was close, and they were in it, and they were playing well, and they were matching them. They got off to an absolute flying start and really sort of looked to blow Leeds away. And then, as you might expect, Leeds' class, inverted commas, told. Leeds have got everyone back now, and the way that things have worked out for them this season, all the injuries kind of came back just ahead of the middle eights, and they're now using what tools they've got to put teams to the sword. But London come out of this with their heads held high, for my money. They played a good brand of rugby league. They've got some exciting players, guys like McCarney, the hooker Cunningham.
Yeah.
He had a good game, bagged a couple of tries as well.